Hi, my name is Katie and welcome to your 20-minute Vinyasa flow class. So Vinyasa means to connect our breath with our movement. So this will be a 20-minute very dynamic flow and practice where we move our bodies to our own breath pace. And that may be the way I'm breathing, or it may be in a completely different way that you're breathing, and that is awesome. Everything I suggest is truly a suggestion. So if there's a pose that I'm doing that doesn't feel comfortable in your body, I will ask you to shift or adjust so that you feel your best. So I like to ask myself, do I have enough space in my body to breathe my best? And that's what we're really going to be exploring throughout our practice, because when we do breathe our best, we have fresh oxygen that floods every cell of our body, our brains, and makes space for positivity, for possibility. So it's pretty awesome. I invite you to join me in that, and I thank you very much for being here. So as we begin, if you choose to find a seated pose to begin our practice, I invite you to do that. That may be sitting on the floor like I am. It may be simple cross-legged pose like this, or you could maybe extend your legs long, or maybe you'd like to lean against a wall or something for support, or maybe you're sitting up on a chair. If you are, I just ask that you scoot to the very edge of that and you sort of resist the urge to round your back in this moment, but to find almost your tallest spine. And just take a moment here to notice what's touching the floor or the earth. You can choose to maybe ground down in those areas. For me, it's my toes, my seat, my hips. And then notice what could rise up. For me, it's my belly. I feel my heart begin to rise. And if there was a string on the top of my head, it almost rises up towards the ceiling, creating all of this space in your back, in your entire body, right? So right from there, we can begin to breathe in a way that brings all of that possibility of positivity into our bodies, into our minds. I fill that space with a breath in. I pause for just a moment, and then as I breathe out, I think sort of what could relax or let go. For me, it's my shoulders, my hips, my toes, and each breath builds upon that. I breathe in through my nose, I pause at the very top, and I like to breathe out through my mouth on an HA, cleansing breath to sort of let go. Breathe in a way that feels good to you throughout this practice. It may be something completely different, and that is awesome. I like to close my eyes for a moment as I center myself here. Maybe your eyes stay open, and that's great too. As you continue to breathe, maybe find what could rise a little bit more and what could soften. On my next breath in, I reach my arms all the way up to the ceiling or the sky, and I gather my palms together. On the way down, my thumbs graze my forehead, my lips, and my heart. So that is Vinyasa, connecting your breath with your movement. As you inhale, and it may be differently than me, allow your eyes, your arms to rise, and as you exhale, gathering the hands back at your own heart center. That's all it is. Continue to move with your breath. And after your next complete breath cycle of that, we'll meet on an inhale as you'll reach your arms all the way up towards the sky. And as you exhale, gently twist with your belly, allowing your fingertips to land wherever they fall. So fingertips rather than palms. So even if you're flexible enough to rest your palms into the earth, tent up to your fingertips. See how that creates more space again in your spine. Fill that space with your breath. And as you exhale, maybe soften this twist just a little bit more. Maybe for you, that's just a feeling. Maybe it's something actually visual. Maybe your chin reaches back and looks to the back of the room. On your next breath in, reach your fingertips all the way up to the ceiling. And as you breathe out, opposite side twist, allow your hands to rest wherever they fall. Again, rising up as you inhale and softening that twist as you exhale. As you inhale, allowing your fingertips to rise up toward the ceiling, and as you exhale, gathering your hands back at your own heart center, pausing for a moment here in your tallest spine so far, and filling that space with your breath. Now focusing on finding space in the front of our bodies, can relax your hands behind you. I interlace my palms and I'll turn to the side to demonstrate. I ground down through whatever is touching the earth or your chair. And as I inhale, I lift up through my heart and I let my hands almost reach behind me. Your hands don't have to clasp, maybe they just reach the earth. And from there, I open my heart and I shift the focus upward. Maybe your eyes are closed and that's just a feeling of your heart rising. And then as I exhale, I return back to that tall spine. I interlace my hands in front of me now. Find that breath in, that tall length here. And then as I exhale, I round through my back, now finding space in the back of my body for breath. I let my chin relax. I feel the breath travel through the backs of my rib cage, opening my back there, my spine for more breath. I root into my hips. I find that tall spine, and you can press this shape up towards the ceiling as you breathe in, and as you breathe out, allowing your hands to relax at your sides. We'll slowly make our way to standing. You can do that any way that's comfortable to you. You could use a chair or something that's next to you. We've been sitting for a while, so I ask that maybe you extend your legs in front of you or behind you if yoga is a regular practice to you. Maybe you roll your ankles around for a moment. If you're stretching the legs behind you, maybe that's reaching one leg back, maybe bending your knee, reaching the other leg back. And then I go ahead and tuck my toes and I find a nice forward fold for a moment. My hands are on my thighs. My head is relaxed forward and I round up, stacking their vertebrae. That's those bones that create that length in your spine all the way till you're standing upright in mountain pose. So notice now, what is it like to breathe while standing? Am I standing in the best way to support that expansion in my breath, in my body, to make space for that possibility, for that positivity? And again, what can root down? Maybe it's your toes. For me, I spread my toes wide, my heels of my feet. You could rock the weight forward and rock the weight back and explore that space there. And then I notice what can rise up. I lengthen through my legs, through my belly, my heart, my head. I inhale breath here. And as I exhale, what can soften? Maybe it's the jaw, the shoulders, the hips, the toes. On your next breath in, maybe reaching the arms up towards the ceiling and allowing your hands to gather at your heart center as you breathe out. Maybe a couple more times, just like when we were seated before, finding that vinyasa, your breath with movement. I like to bend my knees here. I like to make this really dynamic. You can make this as small or as wide as you'd like. You can circle the arms behind you, make this a whole 360-degree experience. You could rise up to your tiptoes. When you're ready to move on, find your mountain pose again. Maybe rocking the weight forward and back. We'll take a wider stance to find warrior two, really strong pose to explore the expansion along the sides in front of our body to make that space for breath. I'll face one foot to face one direction. This becomes my front foot. My back foot, I angle the toes just a little bit, maybe like a diagonal here. And then I soften this front knee a little bit, only so much that I can still see my toes. Maybe it's right above your ankle. This could be a 1 foot stance for you. If you're feeling really strong today, maybe you take a wider stance. Doesn't matter, exact same benefits. And then I notice what can ground down. I let my legs stay there, calling upon that muscular effort and what can rise up. Almost like your mat became ice. Engage the inner legs now, rise up through the belly. I extend my arms long. I find a breath in and my palms find each other. As I breathe out, I open through my shoulders, my ribs, my heart. I breathe in, my palms press. I breathe out, I open through my heart here. Once more, breathing in. And as you exhale, softening here, you can take a moment to rotate your palms upward, shrug your shoulders to your ears, let them glide down your back. So much strength required in this pose, right? If your legs ask for a soft break, lengthen them. If you're able, sit with this strength and find softness in your breath here. That space for positivity can allow your front arm to rest on that thigh. Top arm reaches all the way up. maybe bicep over the ear. Now we're in extended side angle. So I resist crunching into that leg, but I press out of that. So I find that length in my spine again. I feel a stretch now all the way from the rooted outer edge of my pinky toe up through my fingertips. I know the legs may have a lot to say. Invite that softness in your breath, or ease out if you need to take a break. You can rotate the heart up towards the ceiling, find expansion there, huge breath in, and soften as you breathe out. Leave the legs where they are, lift up and back, peaceful warrior now. My back arm finds my leg, or maybe my hip, not the knee, and then I lift up and out of that, finding space in the opposite side body now, and we'll flow between the two. So take an inhale here, and as you exhale, flowing to that extended side angle. I inhale up and back, peaceful warrior. I exhale, lengthen forward. I inhale up and back once more. I exhale, lengthen forward. Now finally lengthening through those legs, reach up and back, and we'll move into triangle pose, reaching the arms to the side. I let my hips reach back, my fingertips reach forward, and my fingertips find my thigh or my shin, not the knee. And again, even if the palm could press, allow your fingertips to rise. And then my other arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Strength required here. This pose creates balance in the energy of the mind, the body, hormonally. I lengthen forward with my spine, keeping that space for your breath. And as I exhale, I maybe shift my focus up to the ceiling, rooting through both of the legs, rise upward, strong moment, I know. Fingertips find the hips. Toes can reach forward now, and then gently face out, and heels will gently face in. I soften through both of my legs until I notice that, again, my toes are peeking out in front of my knees. You might need to take a wider stance to do that. We'll pause here for goddess pose. Again, strong moment. Your hands may stay right here at your own waistline, or maybe the mudra, the position of your hands, will find this no fear statement that's spread wide, elbows in line with your shoulders, sitting low here. I take a huge breath in, and I'll breathe out HA, cleansing breath. I'll once more breathe in, and I'll breathe out. Lengthen through the legs, allow your hands to find your hips. You need to sort of re-energize, send some fresh oxygen to your legs before you move to the second side. You may want to shake it out a little bit. And then we'll lengthen the back leg. Opposite leg becomes your front now. I soften into that knee. Maybe this stance is really wide. Maybe your stance again is 1 foot apart. Exact same benefits. And then from here, if for balance, hands need to stay at the waist, that's awesome. Maybe they extend out to the sides. Listen to what your body is asking for. Rotate the palms, inhale, breath. Exhale, opening through the heart, through the chest. Maybe shift the focus backwards if your neck allows. Take an inhale, breath. Exhale to open. Once more, inhale, breathing, and exhale to open here. Gently soften your front forearm onto the thigh. Top arm can reach up here, or maybe, if your shoulder allows, bicep in line with your ear. If this is uncomfortable for your shoulder, by all means, bend at the elbow. Find a position that is comfortable and can support the breath support here, right? So if the spine is rounding, find that length. Inhaling, maybe rotating the heart open, softening down. We'll flow between peaceful warrior and extended side angle. So lifting up into that peaceful warrior for just a moment. Now finding that stretch in the opposite side body, opening the sides of our rib cage for more space for your breath. Inhale, breathing. Exhale. Inhale, breathing. Move with your breath. Couple more times. From here, finally lengthening through the legs, lifting up and slightly back. Remember this length, this space and strength as you gently move into your triangle pose. So resist the urge to round here, but keep that length. Maybe that means you don't come down as far. That's awesome. Tent up to your fingertips, allow the heart to rotate upward. Strong moment in your lower body, strong moment in your belly, in the spine. Fill that beautiful strength with your breath. And as you exhale, maybe soften the heart upward, rise up through both of the feet, strong moment, and fingertips to your hips. can toe heel your feet together, or maybe just step together. Connect with that mountain pose. Maybe for you that's in stillness. Maybe that's rocking the weight forward and back, or taking a couple moments of that vinyasa, connecting your breath with movement. Listen to what your body needs in this moment. And we'll move into eagle pose, which is a balancing pose. So if you'd like to use a table or the wall for support, or your attic ceiling, where I am right now, and then from here, take an inhale breath, reach fingertips high, and then pick one hand. I'll pick my right to go under and my left to go on top. And I find my hands onto my shoulders, sort of pressing into them there. Maybe for you, you're more flexible in this way and you'd like to bring your palms to touch, that's fine. This is a variation, or this is a variation, or maybe even holding the elbows. Decide what feels best to you. Connecting that breath again before we move on. So this is helping us focus on the back of our body, expanding that space so that you can breathe your best, so that you can find that space for fresh ideas, fresh oxygen, and possibility. Tall spine here, sitting back into a chair. I bend my knees slightly. I'm going to turn to the side. I take that same foot I started with my right foot and I wrap it around, just like I'm cross-legged in a chair. So we're balancing here. Maybe that top foot kickstands to the floor, helps with balance. If you're feeling really supported here in this balance, maybe your toes wrap around your calf. Listen to where your body is. And then all of the benefits of this pose happen right now as we let go. Take a huge breath. Breathing into that space. Opposite arm underneath. Again, palms press, or palms press to shoulders or palms press to each other. Explore what feels best in your body. Tall spine expanding through the back of our bodies now. Sit low. That same leg as arm that reach under crosses up and over. Maybe you find a kickstand for yourself. Maybe you're feeling so balanced that your leg can wrap around the other. If you fall out, no big deal, no judgment. Resist the urge to round through the spine, but find that length. If you squeeze the elbows together, the palms to shoulder, feel that expansion in your back. Fill that space with your beautiful breath. Take a huge breath in and exhale, hands to your heart. Awesome. We're going to make our way to sit. You may do that any way you'd like. For me, I'm going to take a breath in and reach my arms high. I'll find the earth, my hands through heart center as I breathe out. My knees bend for support in my lower back. I'm going to take a moment to sort of shake it out here. You don't have to. As I inhale, I'm going to find that length in my spine that we've created throughout our practice. And as I exhale, I'm going to walk my hands to the earth. I'm going to step my feet back and let my knees find my floor or my mat. And I'll gently walk my hands all the way up to my hips. I'm standing on my shins now, or my knees. If your knees need some more support, you could put a pillow under your knees or even fold the tip of your mat over. And I notice that my knees are about hips width distance apart and my feet are right behind them. I tuck my toes for that stretch down the back of my feet. Can be lovely here. And back into the expansion of our breath. My hands find my hips. And then I invite you to extend one leg out to the side. I take a moment to let my toes face up and then let them find the earth for gate pose. And then the opposite arm as extended leg. If you're feeling pretty balanced, could maybe reach up, maybe reach over to the side. So I'm feeling again this stretch of the entire side of my body. Maybe I shift my focus, my heart up towards the ceiling. If you want to challenge the balance a little bit more, maybe extend the fingertips down, the leg. And then in a moment, I root through what's touching the earth. I rise up from that, and then I follow myself all the way back to where we began. Opposite side. If you need to shake it out at all in between, you're welcome to do so. Go ahead and find that expansion in your spine. When you're ready, ground through the outer edge of that extended foot. Stay right here if you'd like, or lifting one arm up and over. Stay right here, or go a little bit further by extending that arm, feeling that expansion through every one of your intercostal strong muscles. Rise all the way back up and allow your hands to find your hips here. You may take a moment to sort of center yourself here. Maybe for you that's a dynamic moment, flowing. Maybe it's a moment of stillness. Listen to what your body is requesting and we'll meet seated on the earth any way you'd like. I'm gonna start with my legs extended. My legs will straighten, but if your lower back is asking for it, maybe bend your knees. Maybe a lot of us have, our lower backs will say, lengthening the leg feels a little bit tense here. Not needed. You can bend at the knees, exact same benefits. I flex through both of my feet, and then I hug one knee into my chest. I hug it here, and my extended leg is still flexed. You can stay right here if you'd like. We're gonna move into our final twist before we end our practice. You can stay holding onto the knee, finding the length in your spine and gently twisting. Or maybe that same arm as same knee, reaches behind you. Again, palm could press. See if maybe you could tend up to your fingertips instead. Notice how that lengthens your spine, space to breathe. Maybe you stay right here, and each inhale you rise, and each exhale you soften this twist. Maybe the opposite arm reaches up now, and again the elbow could hook in this no fear mudra, strength, energy through your fingertips. You could invite your focus to follow, your chin to maybe reach over the back shoulder. Take another huge breath in here. Legs can stay where they are as you exhale, allowing the hands to find a counter twist for yourself here. Switching sides, opposite knee in, extend the opposite long. Each side's different, doesn't have to be the same. So go ahead and rise up as you breathe in, and your version of your twist as you breathe out. Maybe it's just a suggestion. Maybe just the belly begins to shift towards the opposite side. Maybe that hand extends, maybe the opposite reaches up. It doesn't matter where you are. Just see if you could connect with your breath, your inhale as you breathe in, finding your length. And as you breathe out, finding your variation of your twist. Once more, breath in, exhale, leave the legs where they are, opposite counter twist. Allow your spine to rise and find a comfortable seated pose to end our practice. It may be the same way you began, it may be something completely different. For a moment, notice what's grounding down. Notice what could rise up from that. You may choose on an inhale to allow your fingertips to rise up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, your hands may gather through your heart center, pausing at your forehead for kind thoughts, your lips for kind words, your heart for an open heart. And I invite you to carry that with you even after we end our practice today. Take a huge breath in, and as you breathe out, bowing chin to chest. In yoga, we say namaste, which means the light in me sees the light in you. So namaste. Thank you for joining me, and have a great rest of your day.